Today's quote is by Margaret Thatcher. You may have to fight a battle more than once to win it. You may have to fight a battle more than once to win it.
This is...
Let me take a couple steps back. Mindset is a mental attitude or inclination. The other way of saying it is a fixed state of mindset. It helps us with our expectations. It prepares us for what we are doing. Mindset allows us to pace ourselves for the entire process or journey. Mindset determines how we approach, what our angles are. When somebody is in an unaware mindset, they can approach haphazard, kind of flippantly. They approach with no set goal in mind and no expectation. Our quote for today from Margaret Thatcher says, you may have to fight a battle more than once to win it. This is a mindset quote. It helps to frame, the MOU, the memorandum of understanding, the terms of engagement.
Because that's your mindset.
If you are here, period, it doesn't matter where, it doesn't matter how, it doesn't matter what situation you're facing. If you breathe, Margaret Thatcher's quote will ring true of you as well. You may have to fight a battle more than once to win it. The term may, the second word of the quote, gives us a slight possibility that we won't have to fight multiple times.
You only live once. Once is enough if you play it right.
But it doesn't negate that we will have to fight. And the likelihood is that this battle will be ongoing for years, decades, and in some cases, even a lifetime.
They got to fight for life.
Did you know you would have to fight? As you wake up this morning, are you aware you're in a battle? Are you aware? Many of you know that my past career was in information technology. And as a chief information officer, basically in charge of all the technology for a large institution, you had to not only be in charge of the tech to ensure that everything works, but you also had to be in charge. You also had to be in charge of the security. And we had a scenario in two different instances, but I've heard many of these stories, and they all have very similar storylines. Ransomware.
10 more ransomware hackers are threatening to release a list of credit card charges unless they get $20K.
Ransomware is software that comes into your network and it encrypts the data at rest. It encrypts it where it lies. But in order to encrypt it, it needs access. It needs the proper rights. And so when ransomware first came out, it was bad. It was actually more annoying than it was crippling, especially if you had proper backups, especially if you had a proper backup system. But then it began to take a turn. I remember this other story that happened with ransomware after they did the post-mortem, if you will, on the whole attack. They realized that what they thought was day zero, for the attack, meaning this was the day that they were attacked, the ransomware actually entered their network 8 months prior. For 8 months, ransomware had been inside their network, mapping where everything was, looking for the right credentials before day zero, unleashing their attack. For 8 months, ransomware was inside their network, already at work to unleash hell. They didn't even know they were in a battle. For 8 months, they didn't even know they were in a fight.
And it's the first rule of Fight Club. Don't talk about Fight Club. So
in IT security, we have this saying, there's only two kinds of people in the world, those who have been hacked and those who don't know they have been hacked. These two exist because ransomware, IT security, in that frame, in that world, you're already at war. And those who recognize that, those who have that mindset, those who understand what Margaret Thatcher is sharing with us today, that you may have to fight the battle more than once to win, they are able to approach all that they do with the recognition, I need to protect myself. So I want to ask you, what is your battle or battles? And have you set your mind to the fact that it's not a one and done? Can I list off a few? Procrastination is a battle, and it cannot be won one time. Integrity is a battle. You'll be tested. You'll be in this fight for a lifetime. Being prepared, well prepared, extremely prepared is a battle. Family, oh my. Parenting, help me, Lord. Parenting is a battle. My dad said when we had our first child, he's like, you may never have a peaceful night's sleep again, even when they're adults. Parenting changes your entire mindset and perspective for life. Parenting is not a one and done. Marriage, let me not stay here. Finances, even for those who are rich, even for those who are so increased with goods and wealth that they now have turned their entire attention towards philanthropy, it's still a battle. Mental and emotional health. This is one that flies underneath the radar. I feel like I'm good. I feel like I'm fine because we compare ourselves to everyone else. I mean, the truth is that every one of the things that I'm sharing here is a personal, very unique battle. Your fight with mental and emotional health will look very different from mine. Physical health, diet, how you are refueling, what you are addicted to. Come on. Are you getting in your steps? These are battles. And Margaret Thatcher is reminding us, even in our entrepreneurship, as we battle, even in our content creation, as we battle, even in our live streaming, as we battle, you may have to fight more than once to win it. And if you let that permeate, if you let that get inside, if you allow it to affect your mindset and your perspective as you approach your day today, there's some things that happen. Because when you acknowledge you're in a battle, you can prepare. You can prepare. I used to have these screens up at Oakwood University. Right as you entered the IT area, the IT office, there were these two screens. And on those screens, I had things scrolling through. It would switch from screen to screen to screen to screen. But several of the screens were cyber attack maps. There are many of them that you can actually use, and they make it seem like there's this is attack, and it make it seem like the attacks look like missiles. So you'll see a missile go from, let me not say countries, but you'll see a missile go from one part of the world to another part of the world. And people would come into the IT area and they would see that screen and they'd be like, what am I looking at right now? And my student workers would say to them, oh, those are just attacks. It's like, oh, okay, so this is like a simulation. And they would say to them, no, those are real. What do you mean by they're real? Those are attacks that are happening right now. Those are real attacks. And one lady literally said to my student worker, what? So are we at war? And the kid said, ma'am, when it comes to cybersecurity, we're always at war. Because when you acknowledge you're in a battle, you can prepare. When you know the battle will not be won immediately, you can pace yourself. You can keep some reserved energy, some reserve military, some reserve of your army. You don't throw it all out there because this is the last stand and we're going to just put everything at it and hope to win. When your mindset is that in order to win, it'll take multiple clashes, you give yourself grace when a particular battle doesn't go so well. You can go into an engagement, eyes open, get this, seeking to learn yourself and your enemy. And this is the worst part. Sometimes the enemy and yourself is the same. Every time you learn, you'll realize a new tactic, a new method, a new strategy that could possibly give you the victory. You may have to fight a battle more than once to win it. And when you win it, fam, you'll have a battle-tested process that you can share with others to help them win too. And that, my friends, is your morning motivation.